Oh,
Yeah, I died once, but yeah, that was pretty rough. All right, I'm gonna hit record.
I thought it was super hard.
Oh, Tim left. I'm going to cancel. Hit
Okay,
record.
so I can hear all of us except for Tim since he walked away.
Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to figure out. Maybe. I just heard my voice.
Tim, I don't know if Tim does this, but he has kept the looking for something to do, start a stream instantly on the podcast.
He's so beautiful. I love Tim.
Tim, talk.
What? Stop.
That was such a cute little picture you sent earlier of you and your Daredevil hoodie.
That's like the third time I've worn it since Devin gave it to me like almost a decade ago.
When did you? When have you worn the Iron Fist one yet?
This still fits.
Oh yeah,
you should.
I'm going to, but I just haven't.
Show off how tough you are.
Yeah,
with the dragon running down the center of your chest.
How tough I am.
Tim, are you good to go?
Yeah, I've already started streaming.
I already checked the stream.
All right, well, I'm hitting record, and here we go. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Joke's on you.
3, 2, 1. We're talking, and now. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Caped Complainers. We are a weekly podcast show talking all things nerdy, the things that just make us go, ooh wee. And today I am joined by the complainers, Tim, Devin, and Flippo. I'm your host, Greg,
Hi.
and we are currently in Spooky Month. And today's spooky episode is The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Greg, when you say ooh-wee, can you sound like Morty? Or Mr. Poopy Butthole?
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, I think yeah, so, but before we do that, we have our weekly segment, Thoughts with Devin. These are thoughts that come into his head, and we mock him mercilessly for them.
Before he says anything, I saw on his face fear. He had no thoughts this last week. I can tell.
I was going to ask him earlier.
I do have a thought, but it's kind of last minute. Tim, did you listen to the episode last week?
No, not yet.
Oh man! Within the first 2 seconds, right before we started recording, Greg goes, "Oh yeah, Tim's not here." And as soon as he starts recording, he goes, "Hi, I'm joined by my friends, Tim," and immediately forgot, just out of reflex.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh wait, no, he's not here."
No,
okay, so Devin, what is this week's thought?
So I had COVID this week, so I didn't drive around. I didn't have a whole lot of thoughts to be had because I was mostly in anticipation, waiting for Spider-Man to come.
What did
so I could play it.
say?
However,
what did I say?
However, this is one that I'm sure you'll agree with me on because it's more of a complaint than a wholehearted thought. But UPS sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were
UPS, not USPS, correct?
UPS. So my package for Spider-Man and my statue and all that stuff was supposed to arrive on Friday, and it did, but it didn't arrive until 5 o'clock Friday. And when they started at 9 in the morning, they were less than 5 miles from my house. I could have gone to pick it up, and then when I went to the website to be like, "Can I go pick it up? Can I just change it to go picked up?" Their website kept malfunctioning, and then by the time that I finally did get it to work and I signed up for their stuff, they were like, "Oh, you gotta pay for that service."
So your complaint?
What?
Your complaint is that they have to make multiple deliveries, and you're mad that you had to wait to get.
I'm mad that I could have picked it up. And they wouldn't their website and stuff was down and it wasn't working, and then they would not let me. Then they made me have to pay for it if I wanted to do that. Then I watched them. At a certain point at 1:45 when it was the earliest it could be delivered. It lets you watch where they are. And
watch the truck. Yeah.
that feature sucks balls because it like loaded so slow. I had to keep reloading like 30 times before I finally saw the picture. And then I could see them. They were like a minute from my house, and then they would like purposefully skip what felt like they'd skip my road and then go around and do everything around my house and then go down my street.
Who the hell is torturing?
No, they know how much.
Kitten?
Yeah, I'm hearing
Which
a cat.
one of you monsters is putting a kitten through the worst day of its life right now?
I wish it were me.
Oh my god!
Cats.
God, you POS. Come on.
Is it?
God, they're like, let me out.
It's Flippo.
Is it a cat?
Let me out.
Yeah, Flippo must be like got it strapped to a table, pouring hot wax on its delicate body or something.
No. It just wants out.
Okay.
Right?
Out of what? Your house?
Right?
No,
Out of its
they're
misery?
in a kennel.
We'll let him out. I want to put
did.
him on the show. Put him on the podcast. All right. Well, good thought, Devin.
They were. Did you not just hear them?
All right.
Devin, I think they knew how much of a Spider-Man fanatic you are, and they're like, we're going to mess with this kid.
I will
like,
say that
Peter
statue
Parker,
though
please.
is beautiful. It's so big.
Oh, for your collector's edition?
It's so big.
Oh, so big. I'm surprised you don't have it on in the background of your room, like to where it
I
can be
don't
seen
want to
on the
leave
screen.
it where my kid can access it and he can reach that little shelf.
Yeah,
I was like,
you can
no.
break it easily.
Yeah.
All right. Well, today's episode, as we said at the start of the show, is about the Last Voyage of the Demeter. It is a new kind of, I wouldn't really call it a horror movie. It's more kind of just a thriller.
Suspense.
Yeah, suspenseful thriller. It's basically Dracula on a boat for about an hour and 30 minutes.
God, wouldn't it be great if Andy Samberg were in that movie?
No, Jesus Christ.
I'm on
Yeah.
a boat and it's going slow and people are dying.
Well, I didn't hate the movie, but it was pretty slow. Like whenever Dracula did do stuff, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is really cool." But it was just a long slog of a movie. Like I liked the characters. It was a pretty fun, like, kind of get to know you of the characters. It seems that in most Dracula films, there's always that one person that instantly knows that Dracula's there or like evil. Like whenever they're loading whenever they're loading the thing on the boat, we had that one guy go, "Oh, it's got a dragon on it. That's the devil." And then the cook, he's like, "Oh, something's wrong." But like everybody just chooses to ignore it.
Was
It's
the
just
cook
like,
the little Asian guy?
Yeah.
yes.
So you'll
It's just
notice that the people that can feel that evil is around us, they are not white men.
Okay, I was about,
That's because white men are the evil ones, Devin.
Yeah. I was scared you were going to go racist there, and you kind of did.
Yeah.
But in the opposite way.
If you say so. But I don't know. It for me, it was just kind of a subpar movie. But I kind of want to get what y'all thought about it. Let's start with Tim, because I think I overheard him saying that he actually liked the movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie. And this is like something that we run into often between me and some of y'all. Is I like when movies are slower to get into the action. I like the build up and I like the suspense that they have into the getting into the actual action.
Mhm.
So, whenever Dracula is free and does Dracula things, it's more like prominent in my mind because now I know these characters. They didn't just force this, action onto me. It like built up. So I really liked the movie. I will say that it was slow. Even after Dracula got released and after Dracula started being Dracula, it was still like, Come on, where's the next death, man? Hurry up.
Oh yay! Funeral at sea. Let's spend a whole 30 minutes of just this scene.
Yeah. Oh, with the kid, you take that.
Yeah.
You take that back, Greg. That was an emotion. That was like that tore me apart on the inside. That was a good.
I'm like, ugh. Somebody kill somebody. I'm sick.
You heard it. You heard it here, ladies. Tim loves the foreplay, and he loves kids.
I
Yeah.
love foreplay. Not that big into kids.
Sorry, but a child death will tear him apart.
Yeah.
Yes, that will
But-
tear me up. Yes.
Yeah.
It depends on if he's invested or not.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you right now, Bridge to Terabithia is my go-to cry movie, and that involves the death of a kid too. So
The only real kind of part of the movie that I truly loved was, I think it was the first night with Dracula,
yeah,
and it's like raining. It's got those two dudes on the bow or something,
yeah,
and then you kind of see Dracula hiding off in like the background, like somebody's like looking around the deck, and you can kind of see him. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I
Yeah.
was hoping for more of that. I wanted to see him really stalk the prey throughout the movie,
I thought
but
it
it
was
never
gonna.
did.
I thought it was gonna be a horror film. So I went in
Yeah.
thinking that I was gonna like see something creepy, and then it'll just disappear, and then jump scare.
Yeah.
So I was disappointed whenever that didn't happen because I was expecting it, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
But I was
'Cause it's-
disappointed that it wasn't a horror film.
I think
Yeah,
that would
'cause
have made it better.
Yeah.
It's the perfect
And
scenario for a great horror bottle movie.
yeah.
Just have everything contained to the boat, which it did,
Yeah.
but just really make this boat terrifying. Just make you don't know where he is, what he's gonna do, and like it could have just been really just a really neat idea.
I would also say another part that I didn't like about the movie is the ending going from Dracula hunting them to them hunting Dracula. That was inauthentic. It seemed very forced. Like they didn't really know how to end the movie. So they were like, they got an axe that can somehow actually hurt Dracula, which, come on, that's silly. That's so stupid. I think a better ending would have been like, whenever they started searching the boat the first time and they find his hiding spot and then they like somehow create a light to shine down, not a light, but the sun to shine down on his casket, and they throw it open, and then he like runs and hides into other parts of the ship, and so they're hunting him down, creating like the sunlight in all these different rooms. And it's a race against time because once it's nighttime, he's gonna start terrorizing again. And I think it could have been a little bit better.
One part of the movie that I think could have been better, they only do it once. There's kind of like a thrall moment in it where he turns one of the crew members into like a thrall and like kind of do my bidding kind of thing. And I feel like that was something that they really could have done big with.
Yeah.
That like not only are we now having to worry about Dracula, the people who we called crew members and all that stuff are now going against us. Well, it could have been just a really like the space just gets smaller and a very claustrophobic movie.
I think that the thrall part was scarier than pretty much any of the Dracula parts.
I agree.
Because because you knew that there was something up with him, and then but you didn't think that like they didn't play it where he was just going to grab the kid, but then he grabs the kid, and it felt like out of nowhere, even though you kind of already.
Yeah, you just knowing movie formula, you're just like, oh, this guy.
Yeah, like something's gonna happen, you just don't know what, and then he grabs the kid, and like even though you were expecting it, you weren't expecting that. I think that.
Flippo, what were your thoughts on the movie? He left the room.
I was surprised. I was surprised about the cinematic quality of it.
Yeah, it was a very nicely shot.
It was. Yeah, I think that's what stood out to me the most. Just to begin, it's like, man, it's like beautiful looking movie, and it's like we're going to be on a boat the entire freaking time.
Yeah, it's like I'm scared, but also it's beautiful.
I was never scared during the whole film.
Yeah,
I know Dracula like hovers over you. You're just like, he has beautiful eyes.
I'm gonna say
They broke the
Dracula-
wrong. They
Dracula looked
Go ahead.
dumb, right? Can we all agree?
A little
that he
bit.
looked kinda
Like
stupid?
Nosferatu Dracula.
Yeah,
I was
his
hoping-
claws in the one scene when you first see him. Okay, that was a little like pretty cool, but then
Yeah.
he kept that weird bat zombie looking form, and that was
Yeah.
weird.
I was hoping that like as he fed more, he changed.
Yeah,
Like the mummy.
But that never happened. And like by like the end of the movie, he's still running around as a zombie bat thing, like Tim said. It's just like okay.
And you're
and
telling
even
me
the-
people see him and aren't suspicious of like,
And-
oh man.
And even in the ending movie, where it kind of like tries to set up a sequel and all that stuff, but it's just like he's still an ugly zombie bat looking man in a suit. And it's just like, okay, come on. But yeah, it did some things really well, and then did a lot of things not good. What was the rule that it
They-
broke, Flippo? You
They
said it
killed a
broke the
dog.
rule?
They killed a
Oh,
dog.
yeah,
that made me so mad.
yeah.
Tim, what tore you up
They
more,
broke the
dog
one
death or the
freaking
child
rule.
death?
What was that? Devin?
What tore you up more, the dog death or the child death?
Oh, the child death. Because they played it up more, and you learn more about the child, and you like get invested in the child.
Yeah, the
But it's
dog.
man's
you
best
just
friend.
instinctively-
Yeah, they kind of just passed over the dog.
Yeah, they gave him like 5 minutes in the entire movie. It sucks that he dies. I hate seeing dogs die, but
Yeah.
I wasn't as emotionally invested.
What about the
Yeah.
pigs? Were you upset when the pigs died?
Nah.
What
I
about the
was-
chickens? Did
I
you
was
care about the
sad whenever
chickens?
they threw all the meat overboard, thinking that it was an illness with the animals versus because they still could have like stewed the meat or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
Devin, what about you? What was your thoughts on the movie?
it was all right. It started out as a really beautiful movie, but then they were on a boat the entire time, and I thought, man, all those like beautiful like shots of like wheels rolling and stuff. What a waste.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about bottle movies. You could either do a bottle movie really well or really bad. Like if you're only in one spot and it's not like entertaining, it does feel like it ruins the movie.
Like, check out this wagon wheel rolling for 2 seconds. You're not going to see that again later in the movie, but we're going to show you this right now.
This is really important.
I also didn't like the way Dracula looked. Like, I thought his claws were super cool. The weird, like, middle one being longer than everything else.
Like a
But-
freaking raptor.
Oh,
Yeah. But he himself looked
like a middle finger the entire movie.
Yeah, looked really derpy.
Oh no, he's insulted
every
me
time-
with his finger.
Every time that I think of Nosferatu, I just think he looks like a rat. And so I kind of thought that about this Dracula. Was like, man, you're a rat boy. Just
Mhm.
ratting up with your little rat teeth and your claws. I mean, I really don't know what to say. Like, this movie was okay, but since everything has to happen at night, I feel like you miss a good chunk of like what would happen in the movie because it does night scenes, like 3 minutes of daytime scenes, and then night scenes again. And so
Yeah.
you miss like any of the planning or the thoughts behind that other than, oh my God, this guy died. All right, moving on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, it didn't help that everybody was just like, no, it's just a sickness. I'm like, oh no, he just died of natural causes. Like nobody really genuinely took it seriously that like, hey, there's something or someone on this boat that we should really care. Like that did upset me too because in the daytime is just wasted in
Yep.
this movie. That's just like scary Dracula stuff at night. And it's just like, oh, let's do exposition.
Yes.
I'm a seafaring man, and blah blah. Like just
You know
it's
I'm
just
a
like, okay,
seafaring
great.
man, and that hasn't changed.
Yeah, this is my last voyage. It's just like that sucks.
Did I miss the fact that like, could they not find the coffin?
They found the coffin.
but they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, it was just full of
That's
dirt.
okay. That's what I thought. Like,
They
that's
could
so
have
stupid.
Yeah, so they could have taken it on deck and opened it in the middle of the day. You know, it's stuff like that
They
makes me just the
Could have thrown it in the ocean.
All right, well this is my argument with that. It's under the ship. It's in the hull of the ship. and this is a big thing. You saw a bunch of the narrow hallways in the ship. The only way to get
use
the
the
coffin
crane to
out
get
would
it
be,
in.
yeah, the only way to get it out would be that little, I don't know, ship anatomy, but that little hole thing in the middle of it. That's the only way they would be able to get it out.
So here's the other question. They had this plan of sinking the ship, right? So it never made it to shore.
Hmm.
Why didn't they do that during the day? When they
That's a
were
good point.
they
Yeah.
were like, I'm gonna wait till nighttime so we can fight this thing and then sink it. Like
Yeah.
that's so stupid.
Yeah.
It was a movie that was riddled with obvious plot holes.
Yeah. Like if real people were like, I think if we were on a ship, all of us, including Reed, I think one of us would die, but we would definitely make better decisions than they did in this movie.
I feel like we would,
Absolutely.
if we knew where that coffin was, like, yeah, they used a crane to get in there, but if we knew where it was, we'd find a way. We would chain that up and manhandle it all the way up to the top.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
bust a
we wouldn't
hole
just
in
be
the
like,
side
oh
of the
no.
hull and just push it off into the water.
Yeah, like
Yep,
Tim,
and then
you
patch it
work
up.
out. Yeah, you just lift this thing up and get it out of here.
I blow my intestines through my butt. Okay, I need some help. Sorry,
Like, no,
I
you're
thought I
good.
was manly. I'm not.
Like, it's too
I could do
hot.
it.
Can we do this at night? This takes too long. What now there's been several vampire and specifically Dracula movies that's come out over the years. What is y'all's favorite, not just Dracula, but vampire media, and how do you compare this new Dracula on a boat to it?
I feel like this is going to be really terrible. I love the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing.
Well,
Um,
these Draculas are oddly similar.
Except they
Like,
don't suck. Actually, if I'm gonna rank any vampire like anything, it's gonna be the Strain.
oh, that was going to be mine. I love The Strain. The Strain is
I don't think I've
amazing.
ever seen it.
It's on
It's
Hulu, isn't it?
It's
Still?
on Hulu. It is phenomenal. Absolutely love it. It's based off of a book written by Guillermo del Toro and I forget the other guy's name. But it's just a great vampire story. It's just basically vampires take over the world in like
Worm
3
form.
months,
Oh
and it's
shit!
just like, oh my god. It's
And,
it's it's tremendous. It's
and it's like
phenomenal.
a worm infection, is what it is. It's not like a
Yeah.
just because I bite you.
Did you ever see Blade 2 or Blade Trinity?
Yeah,
How the vampires had
I
that
actually
little,
watched the whole trilogy like 2 weeks ago.
yeah, like, how you know how the vampires, some of them have that little tentacle thing that comes out? That's how the vampires are in
Yeah.
the Strain. And it's phenomenal. If you
Okay.
haven't seen it, and if you're listening to the show,
It's so
turn
good.
off the show and go watch The Strain. It's much better.
And then compare it to
No,
the Voyage of
no.
Demeter.
Finish the show first.
No, everybody leave, get on Hulu and watch The Strain.
And the people from the vampires from the Strain, they look very similar to the one from the Voyage of Demeter.
Yeah.
But they don't suck as hard. They're more terrifying.
Yeah, it's a great show. Anyways, yeah, that was gonna be mine too. The Strain is probably one of the better vampire medias that I've seen in a while. And this this movie in general, we're not gonna get a sequel to it. It was a really neat idea, just not executed to its full potential. What
Not
about you,
everything
Flip?
needs a sequel.
It really doesn't. Flippo, what's your favorite vampire
Oh
media?
man.
Twilight.
That's fine.
Now, man, I don't know.
You had
Either
all this
the
time
first
to
Blade
Oh,
or
yeah.
Abe Lincoln.
Buffy the
You liked
Vampire
that movie?
Slayer.
You liked Abraham Lincoln
Huh?
Vampire Hunter?
It wasn't bad.
Okay. I liked the book. The movie wasn't very good, but
Is
yeah.
it ever?
What about you?
I mean, there's
Tim?
a lot of there's a lot of vampire movies out there, but most of them suck.
Mhm.
Or like, Lost Boys.
Yeah, Lost Boys is good. There
Tim?
was
That'd probably be up there.
one movie, John Carpenter's Vampires. as a kid, that scared the hell out of me. And I watched it recently,
Or
and it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'm just like, oh, this is stupid.
what's
Dusk Till Dawn.
no? Mine is what's the one with Gary Oldman?
Dracula.
Is it
Bram
just
Stoker's-
Dracula?
Yeah, it's Bram Stoker's.
Yeah,
Dracula
that
with
probably
Keanu
that one.
Reeves.
That one's
Yeah, that's
top 5.
Guys, the best version of vampires is clearly Dark Shadows.
yeah, definitely, 100%. Yeah,
You mean What We Do in the Shadows?
No, there was a movie and
Johnny
an old TV
Depp.
show
Yeah, the
called
Johnny
Dark
Depp,
Shadows.
okay.
Yeah.
But What We Do in the Shadows is also probably the best
Yeah.
vampire show that I've seen in a while. Besides The String.
I don't know. BBC's Dracula was really good. It's on Netflix.
Yeah,
That was
I
good.
loved the first part of it, like part 1 of it, but the rest of them, I'm just like, okay.
I liked all of the parts of it. I think it did a better job on the boat than Last Voyage did.
Yeah,
Was the
definitely.
BBC Dracula the same one that we reviewed a while back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about it, I think.
And then Castlevania Dracula, obviously, is a good Dracula.
Mhm. That's a good
Anime?
Dracula.
Yeah, the anime.
That's it. Just those two.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I'm trying to remember. There was a
Yeah, Paul Rubens is also up top tier of vampire.
What's the
Paul
one in
Rubin.
Alaska, 30 Days
Yeah,
of
Paul
Night?
Rubens. He was in.
Mhm.
He played the vampire in the movie version of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
If you haven't, just Google Paul Rubens Buffy Vampire Slayer death, and it's the greatest death scene in any vampire movie I've ever seen.
I would agree with Tim. 30 Days of Night.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that one actually scared me. I will say I fell asleep to that movie once when I had it on DVD, and that has the worst song, like menu song, to fall asleep to. Like I woke up in the middle of the night, just this horrifying song playing, and then just seeing all these gross vampire images on the screen. I'm like, oh, like I gotta turn that off.
Dude, the best like DVD like menu song to fall asleep to is Scooby Doo. Isn't it though? Think about it.
It's just on a loop.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
great.
Bell, let's. I feel like we're all in agreement that the movie was good, just not great.
Ish.
Yeah, just wasn't. It's not gonna break any records, or
I would never want to watch it again.
yeah, it's not gonna be remembered through the annals of history. But let's do final thoughts and capes then. Flippo, what are your final thoughts and capes on the movie?
Final thoughts is good for a one time. What if you're looking for a Dracula movie to watch that you haven't seen yet, just give it a chance. Cape wise, I don't know, 6.5, 7
Okay.
out of 10.
All right, that seems pretty appropriate. Yeah, it's like it's a low risk movie to watch. Like I agree with
Yeah.
you there, where it's just like if you just have nothing to watch and you want something that's not really scary but still in the horror genre, yeah, it's a good one to watch. What about you, Tim? What are your final thoughts and capes?
I think it was a good one. I think it would have been better if it played more as a horror versus just a Dracula story. We get that same Dracula story way too much already.
Hmm.
I'd give it a 7. I think it was a good movie in general. I just wanted more.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that one. Devin, what about you?
I agree that it would have played better as a horror. I also think that it would have played better if it all happened in a single night as opposed to multiple days, because that would have made the panic.
Ooh,
The panic
Oh,
from everyone
yeah.
else would have made more sense.
I
But
didn't think
because it
about
did
that. One
not,
night that would have been crazy.
and all I could do was watch it be riddled with plot holes of like writers who didn't care. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Well, my issue with that, I would love the one night aspect of it, but I think it took them 2 weeks
No,
to
I
get to where
I
they're
know.
going.
There was a
So
line where
Dracula
they say
would have
that he was
starved.
rationing.
Yeah, he would have starved. But a one night just on a boat thing would have been really interesting to see.
Yeah,
What about your capes?
3.
3? Okay.
Yeah, it was hard for me to
Um,
watch.
Yeah, for me,
It was worse than the last week.
No, last week I think I gave like 2.
yeah, you really did not like the movie last week.
I would
but
rather watch this one than the one from last week.
that's a shame. Oh yeah, Tim. Before I do my final thoughts, do you want to do a quick little what's up with "No One Will Save You"?
I gave you
What you
guys
thought?
what I wanted to say last time, didn't I?
We said
Yeah,
it.
but now you have a
Okay.
chance to actually say it if you want.
I thought so.
Oh yeah, you're a
I think-
tiebreaker.
I think parts of the movie were silly as heck. Like I just kept thinking, why is she doing this stupid thing? And I wish she wouldn't have talked throughout the entire thing because I think that would have made it better. But she does have a few lines.
Yeah, she
Um,
says like one thing,
I
one or two.
think whenever the initial alien came in and was like in her house, that entire chase scene I thought that was good. And then whenever the little baby claw alien started attacking, I thought that was good. I thought the giant aliens was good. And then I thought the ending was unexpected. But pretty much everything in between, like with the townspeople and her best friend's parents being jerks, all that was kind of.
Who cared?
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the movie. I will give it like I'd probably give that one like a 6 because I didn't enjoy it as much as Demeter, but I probably won't watch it again. But I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it.
Man, they crucified me last week. I gave it a 2, and they're like, "You absolutely hated it." I was like, "Yeah."
I think
Hey, I didn't crucify you.
Yeah, I think I gave it like a 9 at 9.5. I really enjoyed it.
So did Reed.
Yeah. Well, back to this one. My final thoughts are I agree with everything y'all said. And it could have been something really interesting, like if we really delved into the gothic horror of it all and really like up the fear, a little less action and exposition. It would even be fine if like we didn't know what the hell was happening. That's just like there's no real exposition. Like it's great to know about who these boat people are, but I'm here to see vampires on a boat, and it could have been really special, but it really fell flat in a lot of areas.
Also, at the end, didn't they just be like, "Oh, he has wings now,"
Uh,
like randomly?
Yeah, he can fly now. They fly now. But
I thought
yeah,
that was stupid too.
yeah. But my capes. I'm with y'all. I'm not gonna watch it again. I'll probably give it about like a maybe 6 or a 7. It did some things really well and then instantly just was boring. But yeah.
Guys, it was
Alright.
so good, but also it sucked.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and end it there. Tim's on his
Okay.
phone.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you guys
No.
for joining us today with the Caped Complainers.
Don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Check out our YouTube channel and our Twitch stream where we are streaming every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Next week, we are doing a review of Five Nights at Freddy's.
All right. Just drop that news.
Yeah, because it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's the first time we're reviewing something like the week it comes out.
Yeah. Then we're gonna be hip.
Yeah.
So if you want the latest subpar scoop, listen to our show. And you can listen to our show wherever podcasts are heard. And don't forget that nobody complains like a fan. We will see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.